1. Market research. A market study is carried out to identify the potential of your product in the international market, consulting on the characteristics of the demand, the market, and the country's market. Characteristics of the country's demand: basic economic indicators, commercial customs, competition, access conditions, internationally physical distribution, current trade agreements, trends and tastes, among others. 2. Creation of formalization of your company. Formalize its commercial activity, requiring the person to obtain or update the route. Inbox 4, where he or she qualifies as a customs user exporter. Register in the module of the Single Foreign Trade Form FUCE. Exporters make the registration as a national producer, which is essential for certificates of origin. Register in the single window for foreign trade BUCE. Previously obtain the digital signature, inserting camera, and obtain a username and password to access the BUCE. 3. Determine the tariff classification. Allows you to identify the main requirements for export and import. Requirements include aspects such as taxes, trade regime, restrictions, IVA, value-added tax, supporting documents, descriptions of goods, levies due to trade agreements, specific origin requirements, among others. 4. Issuance of certificate of origin. Issuance of certificates of origin for the tariff exemptions of reductions granted in the negotiations of free trade agreements. It is required to previously fill out an affidavit of origin determination. Certificates of origin can be issued in 2 ways: by the customs authority or self-certification. 5. Request for approvals. Identifies the requirement of each product to be exported and imported from each country, since it must comply with the protection of human, animal, and environmental health through the certification of the safety and wholesomeness of products for use or consumption of humans and animals. 6. International sales and purchase agreement. There is a fundamental requirement for the export process, which is to agree on the terms under which the negotiation will be developed, within which normally the commercial invoice is mandate, which is a valuable title and the evidentiary document of a commercial transaction. 7. International terms of trade. Incoterms. It is necessary to determine the international negotiation term Incoterms that fit the needs, resources, and knowledge of both the exporter and the importer. They have the main function of defining the obligations, risks, and costs between the parties. That they do not regulate specifications of the goods, time, place, method, or currency of payment, consequences of non-compliance, or penalties for non-compliance between the parties. 8. Customs procedure for the export of goods in Colombia. We have to take into account the key procedures. Shipment authorization request. Say, transfer to the place of shipment of free zone with transfer form. Entry to primary customs zone or free zone. Customs inspection. Shipment certification. Definitive export declaration. Shipment. 9. Supporting documents. The supporting documents for the shipment authorization request are documents that accredit the operation that gave rise to the exportation, commercial invoice, or contract. Approvals or authorizations when applicable. Mandate when a customs agency or a proxy acts as declarant. The supporting documents of the export declaration are those mentioned above, and the transport document must be included. Packing list if required, certificate of origin if required, and any other documents that support the operation or that are required by the current legal regulations. 10. Foreign exchange refund. It is necessary to previously agree with your counterpart abroad demands of payment to be used, whether it is a direct draft or one that uses a rich hedge such as letters or credit or stamp be guarantees. It must be channeled exclusively through authorized foreign exchange market intermediaries. 11. Export modalities. Competitive advantages in the markets by knowing and applying them properly. Definitive export, temporary export for outward processing, temporary export for reimport in the same stage, re-export, reshipment, export with postal traffic and express shipments, export of same place with